Look at Randy Orton slithering.
Oh, watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out!
KO! Here's the cover.
Hey, what's up guys? Back with another couple games here today. This time we're going to be looking at a couple games where the matchup in a light tank isn't exactly the most favorable. Especially in this first game in the Dragon. As you see, we got Abbey, which is a real corridor type map. And if you saw the screen pop up and you see me looking at the screen again, I'm the only tier 7 tank in the entire game. So I wasn't exactly the most pleased when I saw that, as that's not really that surprising. So with that information, I was really thinking like, I'm not going to do much this game. It's going to be kind of a wash, and I'm not going to really do much at all. So I still go to my normal spot. I'm still going to try to play my role. I mean, I'm not going to just give up. That's obviously not the way to approach it. Yeah, you may complain in the end of the map, but as soon as the game really starts going, I'm going to try to win, try to do as much as possible. And we're kind of rewarded a little bit. We get a lucky snapshot on the T49 in the beginning, but I know he has the derp, more than likely. So I'm going to avoid fighting him head-on-head like that, because RNG is a wonderful thing. And I only have 880 health. He has 910 alpha damage. That's not a good combo for me. So we're just going to avoid him. He's my real main concern. Number one priority. I don't want to try to engage him in a one-on-one scenario where I don't have the advantage. Now, we are lucky enough to spot the Artie here. And this thing doesn't have the best alpha, so it's going to take a few shots for us to kill him. It's a bit risky because I think he's aiming at me, but we were able to take him down, and that's really a good result for our team. There's only one Artie per team, and we're able to take him out. And then we're able to get a pretty good snapshot, or blind shot I should say rather, into the Udez. So far it's a pretty good start to this game, considering the matchup. There's that T49 again. Again, I'm keeping an eye on him. If he comes up the middle, I'm going to try to duck out here through one of the side passages in the Abbey part. But here we see they're pushing up, so I got the Zombies 3 turret. And whenever that tank really turns his turret even a little tiny bit, even after the buffs is received, it's a pretty easy pen for just about any tank. So just take advantage of that at any time. And here's just a case of taking advantage of people that are fighting and they're distracted. We're just able to lay shots into these guys as they advance and just punish them for hit points, which is really what you got to do when you're bottom tier like this. I mean, extremely bottom tier. You got to be that really annoying little pest and just kind of fight for the damage. But you see, we really chewed in that M103 just because he keeps ignoring us. And you see now, I see the T49 kind of adventurous, so I'm backing off and just kind of playing it safe. Now, if he had just come straight up, I probably wouldn't have died there, but luckily for us, he decides just to back off. So we're going to drop out and then hopefully catch him by surprise. So here we're going to get him. He tries a snapshot, which isn't going to work most of the time. And then a couple of these shots just don't really come off. I could have maybe aimed him better, but some of these just go right to the right, like that one and the previous one, and just miss. RNG is a great thing. But we're not going to push our luck. He's probably reloaded by now, so we're just not going to push it. I think our TVP went on him, but that's not a good move. Doesn't mean we should follow him automatically. Just because your teammate pushes doesn't mean you should always just... I mean, I try to help people, but there's a certain limit, and we see that TVP is just going way too far in over there. So, this is not for me. And instead, we're going to punish some more guys over here on the flank. Unfortunately, again, our gun kind of lets us down and shoots right into the turret. And now, I did pen him in the side, but now you see me unloading some heat for these heavy tanks on the side. Because this thing doesn't have the greatest pen. I don't know at the top of my head what the penetration is, but I think it's around like 140-ish, 150-ish, I think. Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's around there. So we're going to load some heat rounds. But of course, as soon as we load the heat rounds, we get a bat chat that comes up. So that's just the way the cookie crumbles sometimes, I guess. But you see, we're still just kind of just patrolling this area and punishing anybody. I really wanted to get this bat shot out, just because he's the biggest threat to, like, in general with that clip. But now that the Aoho's just giving us his side and continually wants us to farm some damage off him, which is quite kind of, and we're just going to keep doing that. And you see, we just keep racking up the damage. Now, this game is not the best scouting game. Again, it's not the best. I mean, you're not going to scout on this map in all reality. So now I'll load HE because I'm going to go out to the bat chat. Now, I was thinking he was still down here in the corner to my left, but that's not the case, actually. You see he pops up on the map, and he's actually in our base already. So I kind of wanted him not to spot us here, but I think he does. Oh, no, he does not. So that's kind of good for us. He gives us the ability to get the drop on him. He's probably going to take out our arty. It's nothing really can do. But unfortunately, he does spot us. So not the best thing. But we're going to put a shot into him. Of course, it doesn't pen, but it still does 120 damage because HE. And bat shot. But we're almost able to kill him, but our team's capping out, so we're not going to be able to. I try to get the shot here, but it just lands right behind him. But overall, that's a pretty good game, especially considering the result. We were able to just kind of be that pesky little guy in the middle who just was taking whatever they would give me, and apparently that was 3k damage. A really good result. I was not expecting to do this well in that kind of a matchup. Only tier 7 tank in the game, and we're able to finish top on damage, almost second on top on damage on our team, and first on our team. And by the way, the dragon is the Type 62 also. They're the same tank, basically. But I got this one for free. I forget the Halloween Ops. That's right. Because I already had the Lycan. But so, and the next game that we're gonna be showing is also on an unfavorable matchup to an extent. It's going to be in the T-54 lightweight on Ensk. Again, not really the best light tank map, but if you're going to be the light tank on Ensk, this isn't the worst one you could probably be in, because you have some armor. You can possibly bounce some shots. It's real mobile, so you can fly in and out of the corridors really easily. So at first I'm going to try to spot them crossing. That's just kind of my first priority. See if I can get kind of lucky. Since you don't, especially with my crew, you don't have to be that far up to spot their spawn. Now here we spot their arty, and if we'd been paying attention or just aiming there, we may be able to get a shot on him. And here I'm going to poke this corner just to see if I can see anybody crossing right there. Sometimes you get lucky. I just want to be careful though, because tanks could still be crossing. Some slower ones, especially TDs. You don't want to be lit up and then a Death Star trundles across. It's not something you really want to put yourself in situation. So if you see this IS-4 is out here in the field, and I'm like, I kind of want to help him, and there's a couple lights out there. Now, we tried to line up the shot on the Tifa lightweight coming down the middle, but apparently that shot just, I don't know, I guess it went under him. So now we know there's 3 light tanks, and it looks like there's also a medium that's popped up over there. So I start debating running away, but then I see another heavy kind of pop up behind me, and he's going to go help too. And another light tank is also coming up. So I'm going to go back and see if I can at least farm some damage while they're dealing with this T-50, what is that? IS-4, sorry. I was going to ram that guy, I'll be honest, but sorry to save some health. Again, another shot doesn't come off, but again, auto lock, so not a huge deal. And now we're just going to use the IS-4, it's bait. I mean, it sounds kind of cruel, but it's just kind of how the cookie crumbles again. I don't know why I'm saying that again, but if you can get free damage off people, it's always good. And we were able to get some really good shots into the lightweight there. They were pretty crucial. And we're able to also get a really good shot on the T-49 and take him down. So now my My goal here was really to take out this lightweight. Now, I'm not sure if he was paying attention to the map. I was spotted when I was headed down this way, but it doesn't look like he is. But he's very much alone now. He somehow doesn't spot us. He may have seen that explosion. Alright, he's able to bounce. We do a little bit of ramming damage to him. I try to angle, but I don't angle enough. And then we're just going to ram him and take him down. And it was a pretty good engagement. We're actually able to take out, like, I believe 4 of their tanks for just our IS-4. I think we lost, and maybe our artillery. So I'd say it's a pretty good engagement. Now I see they're already still over here. I'm going to chase them down. I'm not going to overcommit though, because when I cross here, I light up their Badger. So I'm going to just poke a little bit. But I was trying to just get a snapshot into the already not shoot the Badger. So we're not going to engage that. That's just not a good fight. The Badger can turn fairly quickly, especially in that like little narrow corridor like Ensk is. So right now we're just going to leave them be and just kind of see if we can get shots elsewhere, especially in the town, because it looks like we're losing that. Now here's kind of an issue. We run right smack dab into that pole, and that's going to cost us, I think, 400 health from the AX. He's able to put a shot into us. It's kind of a... I really wish that wouldn't have happened, because it would have made the end game of this match a lot easier. But we're going to be able to make it work. At least we should be. But now that we're at a one-shot, we have to play it even more careful. And right now we can see the outline of this tank, but we can't really pick the shot up. Right there, there's a little gap, and that's about it. So I don't want to overextend, but we see the Foch pushes out, and we're able to take him down. He's kind of just ignoring us. He was tunnel vision on the Scent 1. And again, most of the time people don't expect you to be in this position, or it's just not something they pay attention to. They may think you're on the other side of the train tracks or something like that. I don't know, but it generally works fairly well. And now they're all distracted. We're gonna go in. We got to try to make some plays because our team isn't very healthy. So this gets a little hairy. I really want to take out that Action X because he's got the mobility. At this point in the game, I feel like I can outmaneuver all those other tanks. And on the way over and way out, we're going to put a shot into the Chieftain while he's burning. And we see on the mini-map that the Action 10 is kind of chasing us, so I'm just using the buildings to cover my retreat, make sure he doesn't get a shot on us. And now it's down to a 3v3. And we see their Yag is still on 1600 health. And all we have left is an Artie, who takes down the Chieftain, which is really good. This Artie actually has pretty big help and end of this game, but you'll see why in a second, or a couple minutes or so. Now, our SDI is capping right now, and we saw he was still pretty healthy at 1400 damage, so he can still theoretically take a hit from the Jaeger. So again, I'm going to do kind of the similar thing that I did earlier with the IS-4 engagement. Is, I know it sounds bad, but use him as bait, because we just don't have the hit points. And we just use him as bait so we can farm some damage off these two guys at the end. But as soon as I come down here, the SDI nails him and ammo-racks him, I'm pretty sure. Unless the Action 10 also hit him at the same time. But I'm pretty sure he ammo-racked him. So we're going to fall back and go into the field. Just because I can get the most line of sight in that position. I'm not going to get surprised going around a corner. It's the best place for me to like control the engagement, basically. It suits my tank the best. Versus fighting in the city, I can just come around the corner and bam, there's the Yag. And game over. Or bam, there's the Action 10. I can't get away, and yeah, that's just the end of the game. And from these positions out here, I can spot the cap. And I can also spot them coming across the field, and it gives me some leeway to run away. Versus fighting in the city where, again, it's so close quarters that you really aren't going to be able to run away in time by the time you spot somebody. Most of the time. At least when you're playing a scout like this. So if you ever find yourself in a situation like this, I'd probably recommend coming to the field unless you're a little healthier and you know they're all on like low health. But in this kind of situation where I'm a one-shot and they're fairly healthy, in this case with the YAG being on 1600 health and the Action 10 being on about 900, I think, I really want to play this carefully. And you see, I don't do that much. I don't move that much in this part of the game. Because again, I only have 300 health. I'm not trying to make the mistake here. I'm letting them make the mistake. Spot them first. Hopefully, I was hoping at this point, at this position, that they'd start capping. Or that they're going to roll through my cap circle and let me know that they're coming that way. So I can face my gun that way and put some side shots into them. That takes a bit of those hit points off. And you also see at this point in the game, I've loaded my APCR rounds. Just because I want to make sure this damage comes off. I need it to. I can't risk it not penning because of a low pen roll or something like that. Especially with the YAG. If I get a side shot on him, I can't have it bounce. Just because I've rolled like 180 on my pen roller or something like that. Just I can't have that happen. So something that's good here though is the Artie didn't just sit in the cap circle and get killed. He actually did reposition to the corner, and I know there's some buildings over there so you can get some cover so that they can't just come around the corner and just kill him automatically. And I'm kind of using him also as bait, but he's also able to spot the YAG coming here, so that's really good for me. I thought about shooting there, but I'm like, it's probably not going to hit. Not good the snapshot, so I'm going to wait. And we see that the YAG isn't on 1600 health, which is a benefit, so I'm guessing the already hit him when he was fighting the YAG, or the SCI. So that's a good bit of help for us. And you see the YAG, we put a shot into him, and that's what I mean. He was crossing, we were able to spot him, he wasn't spotting us. And we were able to put an early damaging hit into him. Another great thing is, I was worried this entire time the Action X was going to come from the other part of the field. And just, this game was going to be over like that. Like, just over. But, luckily for us, he makes a mistake and comes from the same side as the YAG. So, we're able to just know where our enemies are at. Now here, I was starting to get a little worried again because I was like, okay, I've been spotted, so maybe the Action 10 is going to go through the train tracks and pop up right in front of me. But, luckily, he does not do that. Because otherwise, this game was over. Again, half the time with these kind of clutch situations, it's about your enemies making mistakes rather than you making great plays. It really is. I say, I've always let them try to make the mistake rather than me try to push the envelope and just try to get lucky. So again, we see somebody go in the cap circle. I'm going to see if I can light them up, but they're out so quick, I'm like, yeah, it's got to be the Action 10. So we see the Action 10's pushing up, and we're aiming a shot. But luckily, it's that's a huge game changer right there. It completely changes the engagement and how I'm going to play this out. With him taking out the Action 10. And we're almost able to get a third shot in, but for some reason, I don't know if it's a little like trigger lag or something. Now, here's an interesting decision. I know the YAG just fired. I know I can probably get his flank here before he reloads, but what I didn't like about that situation, and this is just me personally, is that he knows I'm coming for him, and he's in a corner. He's in a real confined space between buildings and other like objects that he can back into. It's gonna make it hard for me to like get his flank, and I'm not too worried because he's only on 200 health, and I'm fairly confident in my ability to outflank him, regardless on where he is. So I'm just gonna run away, disengage, and again, I'm gonna let him make the mistake. That's how you gotta play light tanks a lot of the time, is just pouncing on your enemy's mistakes rather than, again, making the great plays. Again, it's both play a part, but now this is a little risky here. I started thinking, I'm like, okay, he's going that way, but there's no way he's gonna keep going that way. Like, he's gonna go back to the cap, and I think we may spot it. No, we don't. So it's a little risky. I'm like, there's no way he's gonna. I was a little unsure where he's gonna be at this point. So we go back into this position, and I believe we spot him crossing right about, well, in a few seconds. There he is. I try to get the shot off. I see he's facing that way. I'm like, I'm pretty much betting. This is kind of risky, but this thing's like a hovercraft, so I'm not that concerned. I'm like, oh, I can make it, and we're able to get his flank, and this game is now over. Like I said, it's just that's the thing with, especially with city maps like this and these bad matchups, is just taking advantage of the situation and just making them play on your terms, not theirs. So, and we're able to clutch the game. Again, another not so great matchup or situation to be in, but we're able to pick up 4,200 damage. Again, no assisted, but that's kind of to be the case on these type of maps. And these matchups, you may get some here or there for tracking and such, but again, a really good result for that type of map. And I hope this kind of helps you get an idea of how I like to play scouts on like these just awful matchups that I get quite often, and how I kind of approach them. Until then, well, I'll see you next time.